Hello everybody, welcome to today's live stream. Always a pleasure being here with you all. Let's do it. Alright, so we got one ticker so far, DXY, and one fair comment. Hi Rafik, how you doing? Fairly new to trading, looking forward to what the stream is all about and learn how to analyze properly. Any tickers can be interesting to me. Hope to learn how to read price actions. Totally. So, going into trading, my number one rule is never use a tool unless you understand the fundamental driving paradigm that enables the strategy or indicator's efficacy. In other words, don't drive through the desert in a car if you don't know how to change a spare tire. Or if you don't know how an engine works, right? Driving through the desert, your car breaks down and perhaps it needs some oil, and you pour oil all over the radiator because that's your understanding of cars. No. Learn how to use your tools, and pun intended, you'll get far better mileage. Yeah, just know what you're doing. Essentially, the strategy is just... This looks like a Rembrandt painting. Yeah. Rembrandt was pretty good, though. He knew what he was doing. You could have said Picasso, which would have been more of an insult because of his heavy distortion of reality. But Rembrandt was pretty on the nose, so a good representation of what truly is, if we stray towards the realm of the pretentious. So, I definitely recommend reading the fact linked below. It's just a really quick read on what everything is. Everything here is just a Bollinger Band. That's it. We're looking at gold. I think we might be having a positive break here, eh? Essentially with gold, what we've been saying is, because this is a reading of high potential energy, whichever direction our CCI weights itself, and let me reset these periods because I manually changed them. Give me 50 and 200. Beautiful. Oh, 100. Thought so. All right, there we go. So, we have high potential energy, whichever direction the CCI weights itself, at which this time is currently looking to be positive. This very much has the potential to run. Yesterday, Kat said gold typically has the tendency to move in the opposite direction of real estate. Apparently, that's doing well. Fundamental analysis is not my strong suit. It's definitely Cat with Chart strong suit. And he says there's a fundamental reason for gold to go down. So if this does weight itself negatively, I would expect to see a longer term period of mean reversion and trend. Okay? So, stranger danger. What is wrong with my songs? I am disappointed. What's your name? Yo, Dr. Faisa. I met a trader named Faisa in a bar called, not a bar, a restaurant called Avanti. Are you that Faisa? Because that would be very interesting. Meant Vincent Van Gogh. Okay. Van Gogh had those oily, weird paintings. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's good. No LOL. Ah, that's too bad. What's your name? You can just call me Dad Shark. That's how we do it here. Yeah, but pretty much the entirety of this strategy is defining states of trend or not trend, or other words, expansion and compression. Also, since apparently we don't have music today, I'm just going to get my guitar. We're doing it! All right. All right. Much better quality stream today. That's good. Yeah, I reduced the FPS so that there's just less information streaming software has to get out. I just need to turn off this denoiser real quick so you can actually hear my guitar. Otherwise, it's you're not gonna be able to hear it. So settings, filters, noise suppression. Goodbye. There we go. Yeah, we are out of tune. It's my phone. It's not in my pocket. Yeah, you guys, you want me to? Are you just an indicator trader? Pretty much exclusively. You always need to know the basic fundamentals analysis. I have a template here. But you should be able to know what every single one of these are. Right, the quick ratio, the PE ratio, market cap, price earnings ratio, forward quarterly, the EBIT, net income, and diluted EPS. Know what those are, and you will be better educated than 95% of traders if you just traded on that information. So like we do AAPL, right? Boom. Know what all of these means, and you're going to be doing very well for yourself, okay? Because if you're like, oh, we have a really nice trend line here, and then your quarterly earnings are shit, then what's the point? So that's just a little rant. How do I refresh this? Reload, okay. There we go. Yeah. Pretty much just DXY is the only request right now. Check it out. I'm gonna go tune my guitar. Hold on. Hold on! Alright. I've returned. US dollar currency index. Yo! Alright, so a while back, we saw this bounce off the mean inversion pivot. Holy shit, that is such a good short right there. Quarterly are always priced in. That's my man. Alright. So, pretty much we just a lot of confluence here. Right, top edge of CLCP, bottom edge of longest over expanded period. Right, that just little conjunction of information there just led for a really good short. It is beautiful. Alrighty, let's take a look. Let's see here. SNX, yeah, I'll be happy to, my man. Excellent. SNX. I don't know what that is, but we can check it out. Synex Corp, or no, you probably want the crypto. Okay, daily, we have implied compression, but it's an artificial range because there just isn't enough history. I'm gonna tune my guitar. It's gonna take me like 1 minute. All right, we're doing it. D. I'm using Pano Tuner on my phone. But you can't see it. Yeah, Poloniex pretty much always has more history. I'll do that now. Beautiful. All right, Poloniex. Okay, so actually now we do have an accurate compression range here. You do have a really strong support at 2240. Wouldn't try anything before then. Yeah, this you have active bearish mean inversion. Wow. Okay, no. So you have 2240. It would be pretty safe to put a buy range from 2240 to let's say 24.25. That looks pretty good. Alrighty. I didn't really give much info on the dollar index, so we'll do that now again. I analyze Iona, son. It's dad to you. Just kidding. Call me whatever you want. Okay. Yeah, so daily is an active downtrend, 4 hours an active downtrend. This is just a bearish chart all around. All right, let's check out IOTA. So I always check out the Bitcoin pairing first, because the important information is down here, your correlation coefficient. If you have a negative correlation coefficient on your macro time frames, pretty much that means if Bitcoin is going up, IOTA is going down, which means your USD pairing for IOTA is going sideways. So just based on this information here, I want to say this is a pretty bad trade. And this is totally maxed out to the downside as far as standard deviations go. Glennon Cross to the 3.2 on the daily. That's bad. But it also does imply bounce. So if we... Okay. Yeah. You could probably get a reactionary buy at 831 if we suddenly drop down there. Because there would be a pretty strong rejection. But other than that, I really don't want to trade it. Excuse me. Yeah, and lo and behold, you just have true neutral on the USD pairing. Kava USDT. Does anyone drink Kava? It's a Pacific root. It's a anxiolytic. I think I pronounced that correctly. Kava, BTC, always check out the Bitcoin pairing first. Look on the daily, we have negative correlation since November. That is bad. So the USD pairing is going to be neutral. Kava, USDT. Okay. Oh, look, we are going sideways since November. Yeah, you don't want to trade it, right? If an altcoin is maintaining USD value while Bitcoin is running, it's probably not a good buy. It's just the truth of the matter. And like sometimes on the USD pairings, you'll get a small tapering upward trend. That's because like it's like moving inverse on a 0.9 ratio to Bitcoin, and it's just not worth it. All right. Oh, I still think I'm not in tune. It didn't feel right. Just give me a second. You know, I would plug this into Guitar Rig and just stream the audio to you, but I don't have a way to route it yet. But I can actually do a VST plugins into OBS, so that should be interesting. All right. Beautiful. All right, what's next? Give me your charts, please. NAS 100, let's check it out. Also, 10 points to whoever can name that song. I've been learning it for a while. It's pretty hard if you're not using a capo. What is this mess? There is a FAQ, pretty much titled exactly that. You should read it. I go very in-depth in a very few number of words. It's like 400 words. Just read it. It'll all make sense. Everything here is just a Bollinger Band, my boys. My boys. So, that's that. Is that a chart or a picture? It's a chart, dude. It's all just Bollinger Bands. Read the fact. NAS 100. All right, daily chart. Tapered upward trend, 4 hour. So when you have a tapered trend, the indicator has a look back period of 100, right, to define volatility. So hey, you're the second person to say that today. Very good. So for the past 100 bars, right, we have defined volatility as its current move. And because this is an upward trend and volatility has relatively stayed the same, that means you just get compressionary noise and you don't define any trend pivots. So it's rather hard to trade charts like this because when you have a high volatility period preceding an upward trend, you don't define trend defining pivots because this is not new volatility. Typically a new trend is a new volatility, but because you had prior high volatility that broke out into a trend, you are not able to define the pivot of expansion for the trend. So it makes it rather hard to trade this kind of chart. All right, what's next? I want to know what you got for me, please. Walmart. I actually don't know the ticket for that. Kind of surprised. WMT daily chart tapered trend. All right, so 4 hour you might be able to get something. Nope. 1 hour. One of the nice things about this strategy is it's very easy to determine if something is just noise. There's a pretty cool quote. I don't remember what it's by, but essentially it says, "Oi, don't do that. Get away." The dog is scrounging. Something along the lines of retail traders are traders who trade on noise and convince themselves it's not noise. I butchered that, but you get the point. So just recognize when something's noisy and leave it alone. FBTC would be my pleasure. So you had this bearish mean reversion, and now you are just tapered off. Explain noise more. Okay. Actually, I think I have it. I saved it somewhere. Okay, go on Discord. We're going to pop over into my super secret channel. That is completely defunct. Okay. Often technical analysis relies on self-fulfilling prophecies, meaning that many people must be watching, believe in, and act on the same data for signals to become accurate. So, you have to take a step back and realize what are the most common indicators people are using. And you need to aggregate that data and be able to determine if there are any overarching consistencies between strategies. And that is an incredibly meta point of view. But that's typically how it goes down. Just the more confluence you have between different strategies, the more predictable the market comes. And essentially, these indicators are really good at measuring sentiment in the sense of you can consistently identify where there is trend and you can consistently identify where there is compression. All right. So essentially, this is trend for as long as we're outside the span. And as soon as we enter compression, we do nothing but go sideways as defined by this pretty blue band. Nice. And then when we break out, as it says in my FAQ, this is the stop point for expansion. And what happens, we reject from it and we re-enter compression. So it's very... If I said it was straightforward, I would be lying, but it is intuitive, if that makes sense. Yeah, we can check out Walgreens. Walgreens Boots Alliance, is that correct? It's the market cap. Yeah, drugstore chains were good. All right. Thanks. I have seen that since I saw your last stream and removed all indicators except BISI. What is that? I don't know what that is. What are you abbreviating there, dude? Bias indicator? Bullet inertia. I don't know. Explain it to me. I want to learn. Whoa, Bollinger Band. Yeah. You must be a millionaire with all this knowledge. No, I do pretty well for myself, but I live a pretty modest life. I'm satisfied with it. It's just a keyboard shortcut for a name. Yeah. No, it's so even if you can correctly identify, yes, this is a downtrend, or yes, this is compression, you still have to accurately determine, or rather, you don't have the information of how long it will stay in expansion or how long it will stay in compression, right? Because I can say, as long as we are below this band, we will go down, right? So we can short here, and we can have winning trades. But then we also short here, and we have a losing trade. But now we know, oh, yes, this is now bullish. So we place a buy here because we know that this is bullish, and it doesn't fill because it doesn't hit our pivot. So even though we have accurate information, we still are only able to determine direction as long as the pivots are played upon, right? So essentially, this is correct until we go inside. And then now that this is inside, we play a different direction. And that can happen on the first bounce or the second, right? So say here we have this beautiful downward expansion. So we short the pivot, and then the pivot fails, and we stop out, right? So even if you have information that is accurate 90% of the time, determining direction off of correct information is still the interesting play. So it takes experience. I also just really like to do art all the time, and that's what I put most of my time into. Like, I make custom dice, which people like to buy. I 3D print them and cast them into like silver and gold. But this is one recursion idea that I had where you have the floating numbers, which is pretty cool. But it's pretty fun. It's what I like to do. But gotten pretty good about my workflow being non-destructive, which honestly is getting increasingly difficult as the divines become more and more complex. But essentially, yeah, it's just all tapered down. Okay. Beautiful. What's next, eh? What am I to look at? Do you have a YouTube channel? Yes, it is right next to my face. In that corner. It's that corner, I think, right? No, wait, no, it's this side. I forget that it's inverse. FBTC. Oh, yeah, I forgot that one. Take a look. Yeah, but this is neutral compression right now with no implied direction, so okay. Thanks for going more into this. I watched the YouTube hour video. Yeah, was it helpful? Any interesting points you took away from it? I also just kind of want to remake it just so I could do it without hair. Inside joke. All right, at BTC. Okay, daily chart, very neutral. It killed my menagerie of indicators. Oh yeah. It can be deadly, no doubt. Okay, so this is pretty cool. There is one trade that actually, like where we identify the pivot and it just stays very, very consistent, and it's rejections off the 3.2 standard deviation. It's a pretty rare trade in most asset classes, but when you touch this ghost line out here, you pretty much always reject. And honestly, if I just traded nothing but that, I would be very successful. It's just that it's an incredibly rare signal to get with proper development, right? So if you have a huge initial expansion, you haven't developed a trend yet, which means you only need to be able to capture it out here, and then it just doesn't hit out here because it is now a true outlier. And as with true outliers, you know, if they only happen, or like as a true 0.3% of all available data, that's 1 in 300 for every candle. That means it's rare and it doesn't happen that often. Okay, so is this technically an active mean reversion? That is the question. What we can do is we can define this expansion here, which should define its own pivot. I'm actually inclined to say that, so, okay, this is important to understand. Even though we have technically entered this band here, we need to look at the 3-wave PM. Right, longest ever expanded period is 500, right? So this is the end of the mean reversion condition, right? The green. So when this green period tags up here, right? So in like tomorrow, this bullish mean reversion is technically over. And even though it's called a mean inversion, we don't touch the mean because it's just technically a compressionary condition. So even though this is active, it's going to end tomorrow, and then it can do whatever the hell it wants. So it's a compressionary condition, even though we call it a mean inversion condition. It is not inherently mean reverting. It is inherently compression. And if you have a bell curve, and the mean is in the middle, and you're going to have data points inside the bell curve, you're going to bet that eventually it's going to touch the middle. It's just logical. So yeah, sometimes when you enter the mean inversion condition and all your data points are right here, which is uncommon, which is why we call it a mean inversion condition. It typically hits the mean because more often than not, inside of a distribution, your data points will be consistently spread, unless it is tapering to one side, in which case if you have this beautiful distribution and all your data is weighting itself to one side and not fulfilling, you know, the entire distribution, that has bearish implications. So up next, here on the 100 period, if you pop that open, type in 100, that didn't work. That's because this is defaulted. Show me custom, please. Alrighty, so this is actually converse expansion, which is not very good at trading because you have initial downward impulse and then a move is powerful enough in the opposite direction that you actually cause re-expansion of your overexpanded periods. In other words, we move out to the opposite 1.25 standard deviation. which gives you really messy readings because this impulse is no longer being accounted for in its full form. It's being accounted for based on prior volatility in the opposite direction. In other words, the period is grossly underrepresented by a smaller figure than what should be represented by just this overwhelming move. Right? In other words, seeing LeBron James in his glorified 7 feet something is going to be very underwhelming if you have been exposed to, say, 6.5 foot tall people your entire life, right? That's what the indicator is saying. Like, this here is LeBron James, but it doesn't fucking matter because you've had significant volatility directly before the move. In other words, it's not good to trade. Pretty cool analogy. I'm actually happy with that one. All right, what's next? Get those questions in, folks. Be happy to take a look at anything you want me to. Didn't think of that before. Keep your way of thinking is very different. Keep it up. Yeah, my pleasure, dude. That's what they call an edge, essentially. Right? If you're acting on the same information that everyone else is using, you're not going to get very good results. Because the profit is already very saturated, right? So think about it like YouTube videos, right? Your content needs to be unique. You can't, make a thumbnail of you going and then have a reaction video to a major Pixar movie and expect to get more than a few thousand views, right? It's just so saturated. It's ridiculous. That's pretty much what trading is. You need a unique way of looking at information while understanding what other people are doing. Or understand the fundamental driving paradigms that are driving the market to begin with, which might be what's happening here. Pretty interesting stuff. XBT, USD. Hi! Hello there, King Dobie. Pleasure to have you here with us. All right, Bitcoin is in a parabola. We've known that this is in a parabola for quite some time. In fact, we've known it since October 19th, because we had every period below 0.4 on the wave PM, and we broke out, and all the periods were weighted in the same direction with all the CCI weighted positively, and what happens? Oh, lo and behold, you get a parabolic trend that is larger than fucking whatever the hell this is. How are you, man? I'm good. So that is a 200% move. Are we going to hit 100K? I don't know. Oh, yikes on a trike. It's possible. All right. I guess you want short-term information. So actually, these expansions are really clean, which is good. Because if this is just one red solid plume, it's going to give you very good information. So like here, currently we're at the 200 period, which means we can just default this. Yeah. I think this pop-off is a little early. Since if we do actually continue our upward trend here, it would be a true parabolic breakout. And we would just not stop. If we make a consistent new all-time high to like 30,000 here, we would not stop. Because essentially the way it works is you're rolling a snowball, right, by yourself. And as you roll the snowball, it gets bigger and bigger. Essentially, if you get your snowball too big, you can't roll it anymore. And you have one of two choices. You leave it out in the sun and wait for it to melt so that it's a manageable size and you can roll it again. Also known as a flag in typical retail terminology, where price just goes sideways, right? Snowball melts. Oh, look, we now have potential energy. We can once again roll the snowball. Beautiful. Alternatively, if you roll your snowball really big and you can convince people that rolling the snowball is a really good fucking idea, they will come and help you roll the snowball with more force or volume. So even if you have a shit ton of mass in your snowball, but you can convince people that it's a good idea to roll the snowball that is way too fucking heavy, people are going to come over and they're going to roll the snowball. Right? So, if you have a true parabola and your snowball is massive, where you are exhausted, or your options are to wait and form a flag, or to increase the volume and continue pushing. If we make a new all-time high to like 31,000, like within the next 2 days, that means that more people are pushing. And that means it's going to catch the attention. Because if you have, 5-10 people pushing a single snowball, it's going to attract attention and more people are going to join. You could call this a snowball effect. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. We have the implications that we need to flag here and compress, restore potential energy in the shorter time frames. But if we do continue this current move, we will go parabolic. Okay? Jazz, baby. That's what trading is. Yeah, that's okay. Take a look at RYCEY, sure. Ricey. Rolls Royce. They do watches or cars? I don't remember. Oh, aerospace and defense. Never mind. Cars. They do cars. Income statement. negative, but that typically doesn't matter in defense. In cars, specifically. Quarterly, please. You can't do that? Okay. Balance sheet, debt to assets, not bad. That is bad, though. Financing is bad. With gold flex in the paint. Yeah. Goldschlager. Okay, what is this? Dumb since December. All right, let's go daily. Yeah. That's absolutely brutal. Wow. Minus 3 billion since the previous year. That is just abysmal. Yikes. 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 Okay. So, fundamentals not looking good. Airplane engines. Are we on an all-time low, though? That's the question. Yeah, we are. Jesus. So, 2008. Okay. So, I'm rather curious about our current standard deviation for our relevant periods. Yeah, so maxed out on 600. 3.2 is actually a negative value, so that's not going to happen. Daily, yeah, same story. 4 hour. Because this isn't a new implied expansion, and it's bearish, but we can define a mean inversion pivot, which is good. Based on the 300 period, we can do that. $300 for me, baby, would you? Custom. Okay. Cool. So we have this trend line here. And we can either choose to reject off that value or enter it and see mean inversion, which would be a very profitable position. Since the generated volatility to the downside here generates a really nice pivot. And if that pivot's crossed, we would see quite the upward move. And I know we are looking at this very, very bad downtrend. The fact of the matter is, volatility is your friend. And if you have a volatile move and you enter a compressionary period, typically that's either going to be weighted neutral to bullish, right? Because it's exhaustion. So unless you have a really good reason for people to continue selling after that pivot's crossed, then it's not going to happen. So just wait for the pivot. It's probably going to take a month, 2 months. But when it does get crossed, it's going to be really nice. I can't play that style of music. What is it called? Funk? Yeah, not for me. I actually play mostly metal. I guess I could plug in. Oh, no, I can't. Because I'm only... One of my audio inputs is bunk. I short-circuited it with my foot somehow. All right, ADA, let's check it out. ADA, shall we? Okie doke. ADA BTC. I think yesterday I said ADA was pretty noisy, with implications of downward expansion on the daily. We can check the MR conditions, shall we? Yeah, actually, hold on. What's the difference between Google A and Google B? I have no idea. If I had to take a guess, splitting up their valuation to different parts of the company, because it's Alphabet Inc., right? So I suppose there's some kind of tax reason where it's beneficial to split your earnings into multiple groups rather than a single aggregated source. That's just a wild guess, though. I have no idea. Because Google does so many different things now. I guess it wouldn't make sense to place all the earnings in a single stock. Shit, this is actually a support right here. Shit, yeah, you could try a buy here. It's a pretty good profit ratio. I'd say 4% downside and then just bet on the same mean reversion, 12% upside. With a swing high capable of 181. So that's pretty good. Yeah, I'd say it looks pretty safe. I'd say it looks pretty safe. Yeah, it looks good. It's me, guys. Look at it. All right. I want to plug in. I'm kind of curious. We're doing it! Oh, shit, no. Because with my current routing, if I open Guitar Rig, it's actually going to default on my microphone, and things are going to get really noisy really fast. So I will take time to set that up in my own time. I won't subject you to that. All right, what's next? Yeah, I'd say ADA looks like a safe bet here. Pretty small move, but I like it. Ooh, that was bad at the end there. I came up with that idea yesterday, and I like it a lot. What is that, the 9? I'm out of tune again. I think it's the 9. Ba-da-bop, bop, bop. Yeah, I like 88. I might actually play it myself. I'm from Colorado. Man, my G is so sticky. All right. What's next, my boys? There it is. Yeah, that's good. Ooh. better way to do it, I think. What indicators do I use? Please click the link below. I actually created a page specifically for that question because it gets asked like 12 times a live stream. It's a really quick read. Definitely recommend it. Makes a lot of sense. Actually, you know what? Let's get this money! Yeah. I might take a position in ADA here. What chord is that? Because you don't have the root in the root position, so it doesn't sound right. You know, I actually just know the numbers of everything. I know like chords 1, 4, 5, 6. F sharp? No. F sharp would be... Shit, are you right? Fucking hell, man. How did you know that? Damn, son. I'm impressed. You wanna come here and start teaching instead? Chad. Actually, well, I might be wrong, but... Yeah. I play lefty upside down. So I modified this guitar. So it's a left-handed guitar, but it's strung as a right-handed guitar. And then I play that upside down. So I can never get lessons, pretty much. Why'd you do that? What did I do? I don't know what I did. Oh yeah, if you guys like this live stream, please go ahead and give me a follow. I do this live stream every day at 2:30 p.m. MST. And I'm just here to answer your questions and play guitar. Lefty upside down. Oh, well, my sister kind of just gave me a right-handed guitar, and I was a lefty, and it made more sense for me to play that upside down. And I got good at that. And then I converted a lefty guitar into a righty guitar, just so that it was, you know. I was playing guitars like this, essentially. You know, but as if it was the other way around, and that just wasn't right for me, so. Because you don't have the thing here, you got the buttons in the way. So, this was better. Take a look at Bollinger Bands. Unless you mean the ticker. Blackberry. Better the way you done it. Yeah. I'd say so. Oh shit, you should buy this right now. Not kidding. That is a great thing right there. Yeah, so this little range here, this 2% range, you want to buy that. Stop loss 4% down, 46%, I'd say. And then you just go for that 3.2. 25%, wow. Yeah, so 12%, 25%, those are your targets. So probably isn't going to hit, right? Because it's like a 6-to-1 profit ratio, but it's a 6-to-1 profit ratio, so why not? Do it! What you guys got for me, eh? Give me those charts. Do you have any long-term spot positions? Yeah. That's the other one. USD, UH. Take me to the weekly. Yeah, so you should short the shit out of this. You don't use actual support or resistance for stop losses? No. I'll look at them. So like, it's really only relevant for understanding where the liquidity is. You don't use actual... Oi! Stop that. Like, what would actual support be here? It's just not relevant information, I don't think. Now, I think static price action supports is really only good for understanding where liquidity is. It typically isn't going to understand price action. So essentially, like whatever the support is, you should put your stop loss like below the support. Because typically it's going to get wicked through. All right, folks, that's going to be it for today. Been a pleasure. I'll talk to you all tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. MST. All right. You all have a good one. Wow. That was messy. All right. Goodbye. I usually have this over here, but I changed my audio settings, so we're just going to pretend this is a smooth and clean transition. Ready? Wow.